Hey everybody, it's Lance from Permanent Records and the Permanent Records Roadhouse here. For those of you who aren't familiar with who I am and what I do, I am the owner of Permanent Records and I have been since 2006. We started our store when I was 24 years old and I've been doing nothing but record related stuff for the better part of decades. We buy massive record collections. We specialize in these rare records that you see on the walls on display behind me, but we also carry a wide variety of different other kinds of records in the bins that are $8 to $50 and up. That's what we keep in those zones. All the stuff that's 60 bucks or more is in this top shelf section behind me. And yeah, we're always expanding those sections and trying to offload the lower end records as quickly as possible, because when you buy a massive collection for the better stuff in that collection, you have to figure out what you're going to do with that more common lower end stuff. We don't typically like to handle records that are worth less than $8 more than once. I want to look at that record, say this isn't for our shop, set it aside, put it together with a bunch of other records like that, have a big patio sale where we blow out records for $1 a piece, or wholesale them off by the box, sometimes by the dozens of boxes to some other store or some other seller that's better at that kind of stuff. We like the high-end stuff. We like the rare jazz, the rare psych, the rare soul, funk, private press, the biggest ticket private pressings, and most collectible records. That's what we're all about here, even though we always also appreciate the classics. So anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna get into the next 10 most valuable records we have in the shop right now. These 10 change all the time. If you haven't seen my previous video, I'll shoot a link or I'll drop a link to that video in the comments section below. So check out the first one that has the most valuable records if you want to see even more expensive stuff than I'm going to show in this video. These records range from 400 to 600 in this particular video. So without further ado, let's get rolling with the first $400 record. This is a really, really rad private press heavy metal record. Check these guys out. I forget where Emerald is from. I think it's Southern California. I don't have my glasses on. I don't know if you've noticed my recent Whatnot auctions, but I can't do them without glasses. I can't look at my phone, read text on my phone without glasses. So therefore I can't tell you the details of Armed for Battle by Emerald, but this is a badass private press heavy metal record. If you've never heard this and you like heavy metal and want to dig a little deeper into the more obscure titles, I highly recommend this one. It's rare and it's highly sought after, which is why it's got a $400 price tag on it. Also, it's still in the original shrink wrap and in extra nice shape, which with heavy metal records is hard to come by. I'd like to also remind everybody, preface this video with the caveat that these are just numbers that we put on these records. We're hoping to get these prices, and if we don't, we will reduce the price in the shop. That's how we do it around here. Every month we comb through the entire store, pull all the records that we priced 6 months ago. We mark them down, sometimes by 50 or more percent, usually at least by 20 or so percent, but up to 50 to 60% sometimes. So we're always trying to keep things moving around here, whether it's the high-end stuff or the more common stuff. Some wise person said to me a long time ago, a record store should be a river, not a lake. And we are not trying to maintain a lake and all that gooey green algaic muck that forms on the top when you don't keep fresh water flowing through, right? So anyway, this is the price we're asking today, and we're always negotiable here in the shop too, especially on things that we didn't just price. So anyway, this is a very, very cool record. You can't see it very well, but this is Catch a Fire by Bob Marley. That is in and of itself, this is a rare and expensive record. The original pressing with the Zippo lighter cover, which you can't see very well in this video, but this one is extra special because it's got a press kit. It's got a press kit from before Bob Marley was the famous household name that he is, and the press kit just says the Wailers on it. This might be my favorite Wailers record, actually. Catch a Fire is such a classic. I love the album design. The album art is so sick. You gotta love that Zippo. Originally it had a rivet right here and would open just like the Zippo, and the inner sleeve is the flame of the lighter. Super cool, and you never see that press kit, which is why we tagged this one at $400. Always negotiable though. If that's something you need in your collection and you don't have 4 bills, hit us up. We'll work it out. This is Henry House and the House Band, Save It for a Rainy Day. This is a really cool soul record. If you're not familiar with this one, I highly recommend checking it out. It doesn't look like much, but it commands a price tag of $400 for a reason. Definitely those of you collecting soul and funk records, and you're not familiar with this, check it out. This is Henry House and the House Band, Save It for a Rainy Day. Also, keep your eyes peeled for this one at the flea market or a garage sale or wherever you go digging in thrift stores, etc., because this doesn't look like much, but that's got serious value to it. And here we have Pink Floyd. This is Metal, obviously. The classic Pink Floyd album, Metal. But it's not just any copy of Metal. This is the Mo-Fi version of Metal, the audiophile remaster from the original master recordings, and that's why this one's expensive. These things were pressed in limited quantities. They generally go out of print right away, and this is the OG Mo-Fi of Metal. What a classic record, and audiophiles, go goo-goo for these. They go bonkers because they typically sound very good, especially on the right setup. And that's why this one's tagged at $375, just under $400. I should have grabbed that Pharoah Sanders record off the wall there, because that one actually is worth a little more than that Mo-Fi. Oh, I also forgot to mention that most of the Mo-Fis are numbered and issued in a limited edition. They're already expensive when they're new. They go out of print, and a lot of the titles become highly sought after and collectible. Here, however, is a true OG. This is the first pressing of Townes Van Zant's self-titled debut. If you do not know this record already and you're a fan of singer-songwriter, country rock, outlaw country, or just general amazing songwriting, Townes Van Zant's debut is one of the best records of all time and has skyrocketed in value in recent times. I think it was very undervalued for a very long time, and it just finally came up to where it probably should have been for a lot longer. This record is absolutely amazing. Townes Van Zant, one of the outlaw country OGs, and this is his self-titled debut album. Oh yeah, forgot to mention the price. 4 bills on this one. Super clean original pressing on that. Speaking of clean, look at that shrink wrap. Maybe you can't tell in this video, but yeah, this one's got the original shrink wrap. Obviously, all of these records are all bagged in Japanese poly bags with our "Please Ask for Assistance" sticker on the back there, to keep people from, mishandling these records. We like for people to inspect records before they purchase them, but we also ask that they do it safely and over the counter, so you don't drop anything and cause any issues. Anyway, I digress. This is a killer spiritual jazz record on the classic Black Jazz record label. Take note on that record label, because if you see something on Black Jazz and it's inexpensive, you're gonna want to pick it up. Almost all the records on the label, even if they're not worth 3 figures or more, are actually quite amazing sonically. That label did incredible stuff, including a lot of free and spiritual jazz records, like this one, The Awakening, Hear, Sense, and Feel. This is a stunning album. I highly recommend this one. It's from 1972, I believe. And yeah, this thing will blow your mind. I had this on the other day. It just really centers you, gives you that sense of well-being that a lot of us are looking for when we put on a good record, right? Here you go again. This is a title, Mike Nesmith's Magnetic South, a title that is at best worth 15 bucks, usually. But this is a Japanese pressing on the CD4. This is an audiophile pressing of Magnetic South with the original Obi strip, and it has sold for upwards of $500. Did I see that right? $500. I'm not saying we'll be able to get $500 for this record, but that is what this record has sold to a fan at one point or another. So that's what we tag this one at, because you can't get a nicer copy of this, and it has sold for that amount in the past. So that's where we're starting, and we'll come down from there if we don't sell it anytime in the near future. Gospel fans, you have probably seen plenty of records that look like this. This is even on ABC. Major label gospel records generally are not particularly valuable, but this one is. This is King James Version, First Time We Met, and this is no joke. This is a really, really beautiful spiritual gospel record. I highly recommend this thing. This is not a one-tracker. Every track on this thing absolutely slaps. It's incredibly soulful and spiritual, and it's funky as hell to boot. I highly recommend this one. Even if you're not into gospel music, if you like soul and funk generally, you gotta dig this King James Version album. And those of you who like funky drummers, we got Art Blakey's OG mono. This is a 1956 US mono pressing on Blue Note. You don't need me to say much more than OG mono Blue Note to know why this record was tagged at 550 bucks. This thing is super, super rare, hard to come by in any condition, and this one is super clean. You gotta check out that. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here for jazz heads and folks who are already familiar with Art Blakey and Blue Note Records, but this is a beautiful jazz album. He's joined by Clifford Brown, Lou Donaldson, Horace Silver, and Curly Russell, and nothing quite sounds like an OG mono Blue Note. The mastering on these records is already incredible, and you put that through a pure mono signal, and wow, it's like the band is right there in the living room with you, and that's exactly what audiophiles want, and that's why those records end up being so expensive. Audiophiles generally have deep pockets, and they want the cleanest of the clean OG mono Blue Notes. This is not a Blue Note. This is a private pressing by Penny Goodwin. This record is absolutely amazing. Portrait of a Gemini. I assume Penny Goodwin was a Gemini. I'm not sure otherwise why this record was titled Portrait of a Gemini, but this is an incredible record. It's been reissued. Generally speaking, private pressings that have been reissued for a reason, because they're incredible. This is no exception, and this Penny Goodwin record is a private press soul masterpiece. She does a cool cover of a Gil Scott-Heron track that I cannot recall the title of. Maybe it's Pieces of a Man. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I don't have my glasses on. But soul heads and fans of private pressings, got to check out this Penny Goodwin. And this is a sweet, sweet copy. Still in the original shrink wrap. Super, super clean. Unbelievable. And tagged at 600 bucks. $599.99 to be exact. And last, but certainly not least, we have one of the most incredible and one of the most valuable records in the shop, if it were OG, the Fraction Moonblood LP. This is a reissue, unfortunately. So this record is not particularly valuable, but it is amazing. And if you don't know this record already, you gotta check it out. Booyah. 1971 Christian heavy rock monster right here, believe it or not. This is some really, really heavy psychedelic rock right here. And OGs of Fraction. This is, again, a reissue on Riding Easy Records that came out early in 2025. OGs of this have sold for upwards of $12,000. That's right, not $1,200, $12,000. A copy sold for that much recently. Unbelievable. Well worth it? I'll leave that for you to decide. But either way, you can get a reissue from us. And now, for the first time ever, there's a nice price version of Fraction here with flattened artwork. This one doesn't have that die cut and the Mylar transparent plastic inside this zone here. This artwork's flattened. This is a just standard issue cardboard, heavy cardboard stock jacket. It's got the printed inner sleeve though, just like this one does, so that you can do that, read the lyrics, etc. So that's really nice. It's a good solid package, and it's a fraction of the price of the die cut deluxe version of the reissue, and a tiny fraction of the original, what an original copy of Moonblood would set you back. 4 figures at least, 5 if we're being real, and you got a nice clean copy of that one and you're looking to unload, drop me a line. I might be able to help you sell it. Anyway, thank you again very much for watching this video. I'll be back with another video like this and different videos on different topics as well. I've done a lot of different things with the channel. The channel is just in its early stages. We only started the channel a couple years ago or so, and I don't have a whole lot of time to do these kinds of videos because I'm so busy buying record collections and processing them all the time. But I will be back, so be sure to subscribe to the channel so you get notified when we put up a new one. All right, that's it for now. Happy holidays, y'all. Cheers.